which is Essex Birdwatching Society. So we're 3 members of the Essex Birdwatching Society, and the Big County Birdwatch is an event that we began last year in our 70th anniversary year to see how many bird species and numbers as well of different bird species we could record in Essex, our county, going by the historical boundaries which take us into the edge of London over this particular weekend. Last year was very interesting, and the 3 of us also had a little bit of a competition to see how many we could see, and it's not for me to say who won that, but it was fun, wasn't it? It was a good weekend.
Yeah, it was good fun. Yeah, really good fun.
And the weather, as I recall, last year was sunny, and warm.
Yeah.
The first walk that that I was involved in leading, people were in shorts. First guided walk. Now there's another change. Obviously, COVID this year has meant we can't do guided walks, but we are still running the Big County Birdwatch and encouraging those who are part of the society and those that are interested in birds to, even locally, maybe best locally, count the birds and the species that you see and record them on our website, which is found at www.ebws.org.uk. You don't need to subscribe to enter any records, and your records will go into this snapshot that we have this weekend for the Big County Birdwatch. So tell us, Steve, you're the most experienced of us. I'll just introduce Steve Grimwade, runs Swallow Birding, and he's vice chair, is it, Steve, of the society?
Yeah, indeed, yes.
Whereabouts are you based, Steve? And tell us a little bit about the importance of recording, because you've probably been at it longer than Matt and myself.
So I'm based in Stanway, which is on the edge of Colchester, and I've been birding for 42 years now, 42, 43 years. And even in this time, the time I've been birding, I've seen enormous changes in species numbers. So species like house sparrows, for example, and little egrets. So house sparrows used to be really, really common, and now numbers are declining. And it's, for us recording them, we can keep an eye on trends and see where populations are declining. And then such as like little egret, little egret, when I first started birding was a major, major rarity that you'd have to travel to Devon to see. And now they're everywhere, and we've got lots of recorders, bird watchers throughout Essex that are, sending records to the society. It just gives us a picture of the changing avifauna in the county.
Yeah, great. So Matt, how long have you been bird watching, and how did you get involved in the society? And maybe you can explain to people that they've seen different birds around, but they might not know what a little egret looks like.
Yeah, so I've been bird watching now properly for 5 years, although I was interested since I was the age of 10 or 11. I found the society purely by chance, really. I was Googling bird watching in Essex, and I wanted to see if there were any good sites I could visit. And I was hoping that there might be a group of people that I could get involved with to share experiences with and to learn about bird watching. And lo and behold, I found Essex Birdwatching Society. Fantastic crowd of people, really good field trips under normal circumstances, of course. Really good camaraderie. Everyone's helpful, everyone's friendly. It's really good value to join. I'm sure we'll cover that later on. And yeah, I mean, I've really enjoyed my time with Essex Birdwatching Society. I'm now on the committee as well, so I'm helping out as an assistant, and it's really good fun.
Okay.
Tell
us what a little egret looks like, just for anybody. Again, we want to kind of include everybody in case you don't know the name.
Yeah, a little egret is basically, it looks like a little heron, I suppose, a little mini heron, but it's white in colour. The plumage is completely white. It's got a fairly long black bill, and it has quite long black legs with yellow feet. Yellow feet are a really giveaway sign of a little egret, but of course you won't always see the yellow feet, because if it's been wading around in mud and then flies off, they might be covered in mud. But yeah, that's basically a little egret, and they've got quite sort of short, stubby looking wings compared to a heron, and they fly a little bit quicker as well. Their flight action is a bit quicker, but they're good birds, and you'll often see them lurking in the edges of the water, and they tend to stir up the mud with their feet, and then when they find something they want to eat, they'll jab it with their bill, and it's just really fun to watch them, really is. They also have a nice plume of feathers on the back of their head as well, which is always fun to see swaying around in the wind.
That's a great description, Matt. And it's amazing how many people I actually meet when I'm out bird watching, and they ask me what those white birds are, because they already recognise they just don't look kind of like they're the ones that they saw as a kid, you know?
Yeah.
Now, Matt has also done something on the website, haven't you, Matt, to help us with bird identification. Share how people can access that, and give some info on that, Matt.
Yeah, so basically came up with the idea of just doing a little sort of snapshot. I don't know if Steve Grimwade can put that on the screen. It's approximately 15 of the most likely species you are to see in your garden. There's a couple of good ones there. Sparrow Hawks, always good fun to see in the garden if you're lucky. And I wrote a few words, and Steve managed to supply some fantastic pictures. And hopefully anyone that wants to use that as a little guide as to what they're looking at in their garden, it's a starting point. And there's obviously a little bit of information there for you as well. It's all a bit light-hearted. It's not too serious, the words, but just a bit of fun, really, to get people involved.
And there's just
there we go.
A very simple link from the website on our homepage on the ebws.org.uk. There's a section on the Big County Birdwatch, so it shows you how to enter your sightings. Say Matt's lovely garden bird sheet, and how you can also download a paper copy of the recording form.
That's great. Thanks, guys. So this weekend we're out recording across Essex, so I better get to kind of focus on that. And I guess the first question is, did your waterproofs leak?
No, they're good this time, thanks.
So where have you been, and what have you seen today?
Well, Matt and I had the day off, and then there was nice easterly winds forecast this morning, or today, all day, and lots of poor visibility and heavy rain. So we headed down to the coast, down to Canvey on the River Thames, north shore of the River Thames, and we spent pretty much 9 hours watching the river, and it was pretty good, wasn't it, Matt?
It was fantastic. Yeah, I mean, for me, only having been bird watching for the last 5 years, I had 3 lifers today, which I was really with. Pomeranian skewer, which I'd not seen before myself, and although it was quite distant, got some good views of it through the scope. We had a grey phalarope that appeared very briefly initially, and then we were fortunate enough for it to come back, and it was quite close in front of us. I don't know if Steve can put a picture on the screen. I managed to get
pictures as well.
A slightly dodgy picture of it because the weather was really poor, and it wasn't.
You did well getting anything in that weather, yeah.
Okay.
So here we go. There's not.
It's coming. There we go. Oh yeah.
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 Shot there from Matt, and
on the water, and got it in flight as well, I think.
Coming somewhere, yeah.
And then I managed to pick up a Sabine's gull as well, which was the other side of the river. It was flying with a first winter kittiwake, and the difference was quite distinct. The kittiwake had the black W across its wings, but the Sabines had a clear sort of dark brown triangle in the middle.
Wow.
Black. So yeah, that was really, really good.
3 new species for you.
Yeah. Plus we had about 350 or more gannets, which was brilliant to watch.
And
some other people, weren't there?
Yeah, and you again very good to video the gannets. So we've got a little bit of video, hopefully.
You can hear
And the sound of the wind as well.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Hope people are seeing that. But the so there's adult birds with a white kind of wings, body, and black tips. And the blackbirds are actually the same species of gannet, but they're the first year birds that have been kind of fledged this year. The sky's full of them. We had that a little further up the river last weekend with the winds that were blowing easterly then. Oh, great. 3 adult gannet flying. Yeah. They're so much bigger than anything else out there as well, aren't they? When
they're massive. That's the thing. I mean, I think I'm right in saying they're our biggest sort of native bird. There's nothing bigger. So yeah, they're about 1 metre long.
Amazing
body length, which is pretty big, really.
Yeah, and there were just huge numbers today. I mean, it was just. I mean, we how many do we count?
350 plus.
Wow.
And then, I mean, the weather turned really murky at times, so we may well have missed lots. So,
yeah.
But we had how many skewers did we have, Steve? We had how many
Yeah, we had 22 great skewer, at least 22 great skewer, and I think it was 11 or 12 Arctic skewers.
And the Pomeranian skewer as well.
Yeah, and the Pomeranian skewer as well, which was very good.
And a razorbill.
Yeah, razorbill, former, red-throated diver.
I managed to miss the fulmer, even though it was moving very slowly, and everyone told me where it was. I just couldn't pick it up. Which was
now, fulmer's probably the rarest bird, other than the Sabine skull and the grey phalarope, that was out there. Yeah, definitely.
That doesn't make me feel any better, Steve.
No, I thought I'd just let you know, and you know. I don't know whether it made a difference, but last year, you know, when we were on this competition, I saw one there at Canby.
Yeah.
That could be a deciding factor. Then you never know. Anyway,
could be a differential. Could be a game changer.
What have you seen today, Steve?
So, how many species did you see in total?
Well, go on, Matt.
I was going to say me for the day so far. I'm on 59, which I'm quite pleased with considering the quality of what we saw.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure I'm going to pick up a few more tomorrow. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I finished the day on 62.
Very good. Good.
Which is not bad.
And you went up to Abberton as well, did you, Steve?
No, I'm there tomorrow.
Okay.
Steve. Yeah.
Right.
Hopefully the run will stop.
Well, I was just a little bit further up the river. Probably, how far would Canby be to Stanford by the river, or as a crow flies? It's probably only 3 to 5 miles.
Yeah.
And you've got the huge port of DP World in the way, which has taken a quarter of the river and kind of narrowed it, much to the seabirders of East Tilbury's disappointment, certainly speaking for myself. But I was, I think it was just after 10 o'clock when I looked out onto the river and the murk was coming in, and I saw the first gannet, a line of 3 gannet, 2 juvenile birds and 1 adult. And I thought, wow, you know, this could be one of those days. I love sea watching, or estuary watching, I think I would call it here. Those are generally one of the first species you see coming up the river. And then maybe some skewers will follow, possibly even a shearwater. No shearwater seen today?
No.
No, don't think so.
Yeah. But the easterly winds certainly were feeding them. And by the end of the day, in fact, by probably end of the morning, I'd seen over 40 gannet come up as far as where I was. But I wasn't watching the river all the time. I was at East Tilbury, and I walked from my home here in Hill. Well, I drove to Colar Sport to save me getting wet just on that walk. But that's a mile from where I live, and I basically walked about 10 to 12 miles around the area I call my patch, my local patch of East Tilbury, and watching the river, and also seeing what else was about. And I managed to see gannet. I had 2 flocks of Brent geese go up at about 10:30, 30
Right.
and 40. I imagine you had Brent geese, plenty of them down at Canvey.
Yeah, we had good numbers, yeah.
Widgeon were flying around, a migrating duck.
Yep.
I had 1 common scoter. Did you have any scoter there?
Yeah, we had a drake that flew out of the river first thing, and then we had three a bit later.
Right. And then a medgull was on the river. And then I had a bird about 3:20, and it was so difficult looking through a telescope because where I was facing was right into the wind, which was right into the rain.
Okay.
And literally, I had 5 seconds to look into the river mouth, the estuary mouth, and then my lens was covered in water and it was hopeless. I just seen a cloud. And so I could only really look at anything that was upriver from me. And I looked upriver, and along the sea wall at East Tilbury, I was halfway along, I saw a gull that looked very long in the wing, a smallish gull, very kind of articulated in its flight. And I noticed a dark patterning on the back with white flashes and grey, and instantly thought that looks like a Sabine's gull. I saw the black tail, which again is quite a distinguishing factor. But because it was back onto me, I couldn't really get a good view to really tell it wasn't a kittiwake. I'm pretty certain it was a Sabine's gull. I have seen one before in the river, but that was a juvenile one. I didn't know what it was at the time. Sent a photograph to one of my bird watching friends, and he informed me as I looked through the book that it thought it might be a Sabine's gull and was. So it's not my first here, even at East Tilbury, but a great bird. Pretty certain it was, but it was either that or a kittiwake. That was probably the highlight bird. Obviously, there were waders there as well. Saw quite a few waders. There was another bird that I saw a little among Dunlin that may have been a curlew sandpiper, but I couldn't see. Raven. But my total for the day, 82.
Oh.
Because I saw quite a few passerines as well. And again, kind of on the non-sea watch and non-wader, 4 ravens. There's some ravens kicking around here. It's good to see them.
Yeah.
Sandpiper. So a good day.
Yeah.
Obviously for you guys, not going to a more general site, there'll be quite a few birds you didn't see. But for me, Canada goose is the standout bird that I've been missing. The other noticeable absence by last year, do you remember what the second most seen bird was?
Yeah, the buzzard.
Oh, buzzard, yeah.
Not seen many reports of buzzards today.
No,
I don't think we had any raptors at all today, did we?
No.
Nothing. Not really raptor weather.
Yeah, we did have 6 swallows, didn't we, this morning?
I had 6 swallows flying along the sea wall, and they were pretty much there all day. Accrued to 10 later in the afternoon.
As we were walking back to the car, there was a little sort of little brook, I suppose, or little ditch runoff, and Steve pointed to it and said he had a grey wagtail there last week. And as he spoke the words, lo and behold, a grey wagtail rose up and flew off.
Now that was a bird I didn't see today. I had 2 yellow wagtails and I had 2 pied wagtails. But a friend of mine, Pete Merchant, was out, I think yesterday, and he had 2 grey wagtails, but I couldn't find them. Okay. Good day. Really enjoyed it. Got very wet. I got into the bath when I got home, and I think I was wetter before I got in the bath than when I got in. But a good day. What's been seen elsewhere? Ben from Chafford 100, Warren Gorge, has been to Rainham, and he's seen 70 species, I think, today. 40 down at Warren Gorge, I believe. I think he probably saw a kingfisher there, either there or Rainham. It was one of his highlights, and water rail as well, 2 I haven't seen. Then There was a red kite seen at Doddinghurst in the county, so there were some raptors about.
Yep.
I had a marsh harrier at 5 o'clock. I went out to the Golden Gates Lake at Thameside Nature Park to see if I could find that elusive Canada goose. And there's also been a barnacle goose kicking around, which I've kept in my back pocket for this weekend, but that had gone missing as well.
Okay.
But a marsh harrier flying around was a kind of heavily molting male.
Okay.
Flew over.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
So that was good and a surprise.
Well, I think up in the north of Essex at Holland Haven and the Naze, there was a Leach's petrel reported first thing this morning around about 20 past 8, which is a really good bird. There's been 2 or 3 of them passing through recently, and they had good numbers of Brent. I think there was over 1,000 Brent going through today. In addition, they had gannets, common scoter, and there was an Arctic skewer as well, which went through in the afternoon. So again, it sounds like they had some decent stuff flying past as well, which is good.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Yeah, there was on our on the Birdwatching Society website, there was a raven seen just north of Brentwood today.
Nice.
And then I think again in the South End area, there's similar species, so lots of gannets and a few Arctic skewers. So similar to what we saw at Canby.
I think I saw a report from Hanningfield.
Oh yeah.
Forgive us if we've missed your reports. We've tried to find as many as we can. Red-crested pochard over there.
Yep.
Yeah, it's great that people have been out, and please communicate what you're seeing on the website. We'll obviously pick it up there, but also on social media, particularly if there's any, highlights or anything notable. You can find us at, obviously here at EBWS Info on Facebook, and you'll be able to put, I think, comments there with a video, and also on Twitter, we are at Essex Bird News. So if you're on Twitter, and I think you can also put comments in the YouTube. We might not be able to pick them up, but or obviously we have the Essex Birders Yahoo group as well. So please communicate what you're seeing. Right, so looking ahead, tomorrow.
Yep. Wow.
What's happening with the weather and tide map?
Well, the tide, high tide is going to be around about 1:30 to 2:30, depending on where you are in the county. Yeah. Weather-wise, it's not going to be as bad as it was today, I don't think. It looks like there's going to be some early morning heavy rain, which will continue through the morning but get lighter. And then hopefully lunchtime onwards, it should just be scattered showers and a cloudy afternoon. Winds are not as strong as they were today, probably down to around about 10 miles an hour, starting in the east, but swinging round to the sort of south, maybe southwesterly. So it's going to be a different day tomorrow. I think maybe the chance to see a few smaller birds in the bushes, and hopefully a few more people can get out and do a bit of bird watching in their garden or local area or local patch, which would be good.
So what's your plans, you two?
Well, for me, I'm leading a walk at Abberton tomorrow morning. So I'm going to be at Abberton for the whole day. So
is that for swallow birding, Steve?
Yeah, for swallow birding, yeah. Just a small group of there's 5 of us, and we'll be looking for things like great white egret, and obviously lots of ducks, maybe a few waders. There was a short-eared owl reported there last night, so. If the weather's been grotty all day today, that might want to get out and feed tomorrow. So, yeah, so that's my plans for tomorrow.
I'm not sure where I'm going to head tomorrow, to be fair. I might do, I'm probably going to have a look at Ardley Reservoir because there's been green sandpiper, common snipe there recently. And then I may head up along the Stour. I might go out towards Holland Haven in the morning. And then I don't know, in the afternoon, I'll just see where it takes me, to be fair. I want to try and find some small birds tomorrow, though. Find some passerines if I can.
And is Ardley your local patch? I know you seem to birdwatch there quite a bit, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, Ardley is probably the closest area to me that you could call a decent site. Although obviously you can see anything anywhere, can't you? But also I like Mistley, Manningtree and Cataway, that area, because I work in Ipswich, live in Colchester. So it's a really good midpoint, and I can quite often get up a bit early and do an hour or so before work if I can.
Good. For me, my plan, I've only actually got 2 days to really go at it this year. And so today was going to be hit my own local patch and go where I know and try and see as much as I can. And actually, I just wanted to get in the same kind of number of tens as my friend Paul Wood did last year. I think he saw 89 at East Tilbury, which was kind of a major factor to making it the top site. And I wanted to do my patch justice and put it right up there, you know, in the top 10 at least. And to, as I say, for 82 today in the weather conditions, I was very surprised and pleased with that.
That's
My
good.
goal is 100 for the weekend, and that's what I'd like to see. And so my plan was, as I say, local patch today, tomorrow to go for the spectaculars. So there's a few cattle egrets and great white egrets over at the Wat Tyler Country Park area, and so maybe to kind of have a look around there. Probably not going to go much further than Hanningfield Reservoir, unless on Sunday afternoon, when I do have a few spare hours, I'm right there in the race. In which case, I'll make an appointment with you to 2 o'clock in the afternoon for you to show me all of the ones that you've seen and I haven't. So once again, we can kind of snatch victory from the jaws of defeat.
You won't answer the phone.
I think if we do that again, we deserve an assist at least, definitely.
Most definitely. I couldn't have done it without you last year. But what do you think's on the agenda, Steve?
Well, I mean, to be fair, as Matt said, with the weather forecast, we've still got easterlies and rain overnight. So the coast could be, you know, it's worth a look in the morning. Maybe still seabirds moving down the North Sea and into the Thames. And then again, with the weather, if it brightens up and the wind drops, it's a good chance to look for passerines, yellow-browed warbler. There was good numbers up the east coast today. Well, sort of Yorkshire upwards. So there's been one at the Naze about 10 days ago. So we must be due yellow-browed warbler.
I was hoping for a ring ouzel today to pop out.
Yeah, one. Yeah.
Did well to see a blackbird in the end, but I did see one.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, again, if the weather calms down tomorrow, then you know raptors could be up. So yeah, there's a lot good potential tomorrow.
Good stuff. Good. So, has this gone well tonight, guys, for us?
I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think
do it
so.
Again tomorrow night?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night, we're going to try and do it a little earlier, 8:30.
Yeah.
And all being well, we'll be doing this every night through the Big County Birdwatch. Just a little update, feedback of what's going on. And so please send us that data through the social media sites we've given you. And if you're interested in joining the society, there's 3 months free, certainly till the end of the year free. For £16, you just pay that, and you get the whole of next year and the remainder of this year with the 2 journals that we produce every year, and also the Essex Bird report, which is our mainstay focus. But also, as Matt said, we did walks, guided walks, and also talks as well. The walks we can't do really with the situation at the moment in the country. But if we do master this, we're actually hoping to actually put maybe a talk online before the end of the year. So keep looking out on the Facebook and the Twitter and the website. We'll keep you posted there, and hopefully that will be of interest to you as well. So I think
And the best thing is it won't be us doing it, will it?
That's right.
Someone else, yeah.
Speaking for myself, rather than certainly Steve, there'll be an expert doing it. Thanks for watching, everybody. I trust you weren't. I trust you actually can see this because we can't. But yeah, it's been great to be part of Friday night and good birding. All the best.
Yeah. See you later. See ya.